In Manila, he held a big event on April 26th at the SM Mall of Asia Arena, where he sang, answered fan questions, and expressed how much he missed his fans. The night of April 26th, 2025, in Manila was one that the city had been waiting for as if it were a lifetime. From the early hours of the morning, the streets surrounding the SM Mall of Asia Arena were flooded with fans, young and old, who had traveled from every corner of the Philippines and neighboring countries. They carried banners painted with trembling hands, letters written over and over to make sure every word reflected their devotion, and light sticks that shimmered like stars, ready to light the arena with the energy of their hearts. The anticipation was electric, charged with love, hope, and the kind of excitement that only comes when people are about to reunite with someone they truly cherish. Inside the arena, the air was already vibrating with emotion. Minho's presence had always carried a unique gravity, not just because he was a global star, but because he had a way of making his fans feel seen, loved, and connected. Manila was always special to him. It was one of the cities that had embraced him with unwavering support from the earliest days of his career. But tonight was different. This wasn't just a fan meeting or a concert. This was a homecoming, a heartfelt reunion, and a long-overdue expression of gratitude. As the lights dimmed, a hush fell over the massive crowd. The arena seemed to hold its breath. Every eye was fixed on the stage, every heart pulsing with the same rhythm, waiting. And then, as if time itself had slowed down, the first spotlight illuminated him. Lee Min-ho stepped onto the stage, tall, graceful, yet unpretentious. The roar of the fans was instantaneous, almost overwhelming, but for him, it was not noise, it was love. It was the sound of every fan who had waited patiently, who had believed in him, who had held him in their hearts through long years of distance. He paused for a moment, letting his gaze sweep across the sea of faces. He raised a hand to his chest, an instinctive gesture that expressed more than words ever could. Then he spoke, his voice soft yet carrying the weight of everything he had felt in those years apart. "Manila, I missed you. Truly. So much." The crowd erupted, screaming, crying, laughing, a mixture of relief, joy, and overwhelming emotion. And in that instant, Lee Min-ho felt something inside him unclench, a release of all the quiet longing he had carried in silence. He wasn't here just to perform. He wasn't here just to smile for photos or sign autographs. He was here to give back the love his fans had poured into him, to let them know that every letter, every message, every moment of waiting had been felt and appreciated deeply. The music began, soft and emotional, wrapping the arena in an intimate cocoon despite the vast crowd. He sang with a tenderness that only someone who has missed deeply could convey. His voice cracked slightly in one line, and the fans erupted in empathetic cries. They didn't need perfection. They needed sincerity, and he gave it fully. Every note, every lyric carried his love, his gratitude, his longing. Fans swayed together, some holding hands, others crying quietly into each other's shoulders, all feeling a connection that went beyond words or screens. In that moment, Lee Min-ho wasn't performing. He was communicating, soul to soul, with thousands of hearts at once. When the song ended, he wiped the corner of his eye, laughing softly at his own vulnerability. "You see," he said, his voice gentle and slightly shy, "this is how I know I missed you too much." The crowd's reaction was thunderous. Banners waved, chants rose, light sticks painted the arena blue, and fans cried out his name in unison. And yet, he didn't rush. He moved slowly, reaching out to the audience, making eye contact, soaking in the love that had been patient for so long. Every smile he received, every tear he saw, was a memory he would carry forever. Then came the Q&A segment, where fans finally got the chance to ask the questions they had held in their hearts for years. Each one was met with honesty and warmth. What did you miss most? How have you been emotionally? Do you ever think about your fans when you were filming? Lee Min-ho answered them all with the kind of sincerity that left the crowd breathless. "One of the things I missed most," he said, his gaze sweeping across the arena, "was your voices. The way you cheer, the way you call my name. It's something I carry with me, even when I'm far away. Every time I read your messages, your letters, I feel your love. I feel your energy. And it keeps me going." The fans couldn't hold back their tears. Some hugged each other, some pressed their hands to their chests, whispering, "He really missed us, he really did." And in that moment, Lee Min-ho smiled softly, letting them feel the truth of his words. He didn't just miss them, he cherished them. He had longed for this reunion, counted the days, and now, finally, he could express it. Midway through the night, he walked down from the stage, close to the barricades. Security followed cautiously, but he moved gently, smiling at the front-row fans, lightly touching their hands, whispering thank yous, nodding, and even laughing at their excited cries. This wasn't planned. It wasn't scripted. It was a spontaneous gesture born from love, a need to connect physically and emotionally with the people who had waited for him so patiently. And the fans responded with screaming, crying, waving their banners, and holding onto the memory of his touch as if it were a gift. As he returned to the stage, the arena fell silent once again. He took a deep breath, his voice softer now, almost confessional. "There were times when I wondered if our bond could survive distance, time, and everything else. But tonight, being here with you, seeing your faces, feeling your energy, I know that love like this doesn't fade. It only grows stronger, waiting for the right moment to shine again." Then he performed his final song of the night. It was a ballad filled with emotion, one that carried the weight of absence, the joy of reunion, and the power of shared memories. Fans sang along, their voices blending into one, creating a living symphony of devotion. Light sticks waved like a sea of stars, banners fluttered, and tears flowed freely across the arena. He walked the stage slowly, pausing to blow kisses, to place his hand on his chest, to take in each section of fans, memorizing them, holding them in his heart. By the end, Lee Min-ho bowed deeply, not once, not twice, but multiple times. Each bow was longer, heavier, and more meaningful than the last. "Thank you for loving me," he whispered. "Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being my strength. Manila, you are always in my heart." Even as he walked backstage, fans continued chanting his name. Many remained in their seats long after the event, unwilling to let go of the magic. Some fans who couldn't get tickets waited outside, hoping for a glimpse, and Lee Min-ho, ever thoughtful, insisted on appearing. When he stepped out, the crowd erupted again. Tears, shouts, and waving banners greeted him. He smiled warmly, placed his hand over his heart, and bowed to them. "Thank you for waiting," he said simply, and those words, spoken without a microphone, traveled straight into every heart. That night, as his car drove away under the Manila night sky, Lee Min-ho looked out the window at the fans waving and crying. He didn't need to speak. He didn't need cameras. The love of thousands of hearts was enough. He would never forget it. He would carry it with him forever. Later, in the quiet of his hotel room, he posted a simple message online. "Manila, I missed you more than you know. Thank you for giving me a night I will never forget." And every word was true, coming from a heart full of love, gratitude, and appreciation. April 26th, 2025, will be remembered not just as a date on a calendar, but as a night when Lee Min-ho returned to the hearts that had waited for him, when he expressed a love that words can scarcely capture, and when fans felt, truly felt, that they were seen, valued, and loved in return. It was more than a fan meeting. It was a reunion of souls, a celebration of patience, devotion, and unwavering love. A night where every fan left knowing that they had been cherished, and that Lee Min-ho's heart had been with them all along. In Manila, on that unforgettable night, Lee Min-ho didn't just sing, answer questions, or perform. He gave himself, fully and honestly, to the fans who had carried him with their hearts. And in that exchange, both he and the fans were forever changed, forever bonded, forever connected by something far greater than fame, a love that transcends distance, time, and life itself. Even after the lights dimmed and Lee Min-ho walked backstage, the energy in the SM Mall of Asia Arena didn't fade. The fans remained, their hearts still racing, their voices still echoing with his name, as if trying to hold onto every last second of a night they knew would live forever in memory. But for Min-ho himself, the magic wasn't over. Backstage, he stood quietly for a moment, absorbing everything he had just experienced. He could still feel the warmth of thousands of hands reaching toward him, hear the echoes of chants, and see the banners waving in perfect unison. In those fleeting moments, he realized that this night was bigger than any stage, bigger than any spotlight. This was a connection he would carry with him for the rest of his life. As he prepared to leave the arena, Lee Min-ho insisted on greeting the fans who had gathered outside, those who hadn't been able to get tickets but had waited for hours in hopes of even a glimpse. The night air was filled with anticipation as thousands of fans called out his name, waved banners, and lifted their glowing light sticks high above their heads. When he appeared, the crowd erupted like thunder. Their voices mingled with the soft breeze, creating a harmony of pure devotion that touched his heart deeply. Smiling warmly, he raised his hand, pressed it to his chest, and whispered, "Thank you for waiting. I will never forget this." The fans' cries of "Appa, we love you," swelled louder than any music could, and Lee Min-ho lingered just long enough to let them know that their patience and love mattered. It was a moment that could not be captured on camera. It was too pure, too intimate, too real. Even from the car, he waved repeatedly, making eye contact as best he could with every fan, as if imprinting each face into his memory. And when he finally drove away, he carried Manila with him, not just the city, but the hearts of everyone who had been part of that unforgettable evening. Every hug, every chant, every tear shed that night would become a piece of a collective memory that fans would treasure forever. And for Lee Min-ho, it was a reminder that no distance, no schedule, and no obstacle could ever sever the bond he shared with his supporters. Every smile, every cheer, every heartfelt moment was a testament to a love that had grown stronger with every passing year. What made this night even more extraordinary was the subtle intimacy Min-ho created in every interaction. Whether it was answering questions from fans, sharing personal stories about how much he missed them, or singing with unguarded emotion, he made each person feel as if they were speaking to him one-on-one. Fans often say that celebrities can seem distant, untouchable, or even like characters from a screen, but Min-ho erased that barrier completely. He was not performing for an audience. He was connecting with friends he had longed to see, each word, each gesture a piece of his heart laid bare. The event was not just a celebration of his career, but a celebration of the fans themselves. Each chant, every sign, every tear shed by the fans was acknowledged, appreciated, and reciprocated with love. It was an unspoken promise that he would continue to cherish and honor their loyalty. For those in attendance, the night became an emotional refuge, a reminder that, no matter how far apart they were, the bond they shared with Lee Min-ho was real and unbreakable. And now, fans around the world are clamoring to relive the experience. They want to see every smile, every wave, every word of gratitude from Min-ho himself. That is why channels like Midnight in Seoul are here, to capture these precious moments and bring them closer to fans who couldn't be there in person. From the intimate stage interactions to the unforgettable finale outside the arena, Midnight in Seoul provides exclusive coverage that lets every fan feel like they were part of the magic. You don't have to miss a single heartbeat, a single tear, or a single word of Min-ho's expression of love. So, if you want to experience the night in Manila as if you were standing right there in the arena, hearing his voice, seeing his smile, and feeling the emotional connection that made April 26, 2025 unforgettable, make sure to subscribe to Midnight in Seoul. Every moment of Min-ho's tour, every heartfelt interaction, and every expression of appreciation for fans will be covered in detail. This is not just a channel, it's a place where fans can come together, relive the magic, and celebrate the bond that makes Lee Min-ho not just a superstar, but a symbol of love and connection for millions of fans worldwide. April 26th was more than a concert. It was a declaration that love between an artist and his fans is timeless, that moments shared can transcend distance, and that every tear, every cheer, every shout of "Appa" is a thread in a tapestry that binds them together forever. Through Midnight in Seoul, fans can continue to experience that night over and over because the connection they share with Lee Min-ho is too powerful to ever fade. It is a living memory, a treasure of emotions, and a reminder that sometimes waiting is worth it for a moment that touches your soul. So join the journey, witness the magic, feel the love. Subscribe to Midnight in Seoul, where every fan gets to relive the moments that made Lee Min-ho's Manila fan meeting one of the most unforgettable experiences in Hallyu history. You'll see him sing, answer questions, laugh, cry, and share his heart completely, because this is not just a performance. It is an expression of love, appreciation, and gratitude that fans will carry with them forever. And as the city of Manila slowly emptied that night, as the echoes of chants faded into memory, one thing remained crystal clear. Lee Min-ho missed his fans, loved his fans, and would never forget them. And through Midnight in Seoul, that love, that connection, and that magic will continue to reach every corner of the world, keeping the spirit of that unforgettable night alive for everyone who believes in the power of fandom, devotion, and heartfelt connection.